Today we're going to take apart a Tipx, install a remote line adapter, a front block with top rail, and an Exalt ambidextrous mag release. So I got all my tools I need already out, and my three Tipx Allen keys, everything else. I got my drill. So let's get her done. First you want to take out the barrel. Lapco Big Shot. Next you're going to want to take out the plug here at the front. Make sure there's no CO2 in it. Clearly for safety, never have a mag. Make sure before you start this there's no ball in the chamber. Sometimes they like to get stuck by the detents. And yeah, we're going to take it apart now. I like to loosen the middle one just to get it cracked, and then I go around the outside. I do the middle one last because it has a tendency of exploding when you get that last one out. When I'm doing this, I like to, I know they're all the same size, except for like 2 or 3 of them or something like that, but I would still like to take them out, put them in order of how I took them out. When it's time to take out this last one, I lift it up, hold the front block down. This prevents it from exploding when you take this last one out. And you just want to peel those 2 sides apart. And open it up. Unfortunately, this time the trigger fell out, so when it's time I'll explode it anyway. Alright then. Well, we'll go over that when I put it back together, because I know how these things go. But when you take it apart, it's always a good idea to lay things out the way you took them out. Not too many parts involved in this if you're just doing basic maintenance and whatnot, which I'll talk about after. Alright. Sorry about the wiggle. I'm using a shitty stand from the dollar store that likes to sway about, so forgive it, but it is what it is. Alright. So we got all our pieces out of our shell here. So for the mag release, we're going to need to modify this half, and for the whatchamacallit, the remote line adapter, we're going to need to modify this piece a little bit. So let's get a good view here. This is normally, when you buy a new one, you're going to have to drill that hole out. So I'm going to get that done in a jiff here. Alright, so I went off camera and I just filed out that hole a little bit, so make it nice and smooth. So that's good for the remote adapter. You want to just make sure that it goes in there no problem before you put the gun back together. Smart idea anyway. I mean, you don't have to, but So now it's time for the ambidextrous mag release drilling. So the one good thing about this thing, which is why I bought this, but it's not set screws. It actually has, if you'll notice, it actually has a bar in the middle, so it's not set screws holding it in. So it should be pretty free floating on the guns, and it goes just like this. So it's pretty low profile. Anyways, I like it, but it comes with all the. By the way, don't lose that little window. It's a pain. Gets your gun full of crap. So it comes with an extra bar for the mag release. Put that in my parts kit. But it also comes with this handy dandy little guide here for exactly where to drill the hole. So just make sure we're in view. You basically take this thing and put it in the mag release hole, and it's pretty tight fitting actually, so you can't really screw that up. And you put the provided drill bit into your drill. Now, I don't give a crap about this table, so but if you cared about whatever you're drilling into, then I would suggest putting something underneath. Perfect. Pull that bad boy out. Now, it did leave a little bit of, as you can see, the drill bit there left a little bit of melted plastic behind. So I'm just going to go off camera for a second, deal with that. I would suggest you do the same. Alright, I'm back. I just cleaned up that little hole there, so as you can see, the little post here slides in, no problem, so we should be good. Alright, so what do I got here? So first thing, we take out the provided new mag release post. Might as well get that Allen key. And so, where did I put my old mag release? Right here. You need to take the spring from the old one and put it into the new one. And it does, well, on the stock one it clips in, on this one it doesn't, so. And I mean, it only goes in one way, so you should be good with that. And then we're going to take out the anchor post here. One thing that I kind of like about these, whether you go with the Winterworks, which I have on my TCR, or this Exalt, is, wow, this is a bit of a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. Bam. There we go. Oh yeah, so as I was saying, what I do thoroughly enjoy about these ambidextrous mag releases is when you... That's no good. Sorry, I dropped the nut. So yeah, what I was saying is what I do like about these ambidextrous mag releases is once they're on, you don't need to take them apart to take apart the gun. And this mag release, well, the actual mag release, doesn't want to pop out when you open it, which is always an added benefit. Just lining up the holes, and put a little nut in there, and get to screwing this in. Now this Allen screw is actually quite a bit of a pain in the ass. Not sure if any of the other guys that did these install demos ran into that problem, but I'm just going to take it off screen here for a sec. I feel like I got the wrong size Allen wrench with this kit, to be honest. Alright, so we're in Lake Flynn. Alright. Now we go through, we gotta, for the, what's it called, the, wrong piece, for the remote line adapter, that's it. We have to take out this plug. And, oh, I'll show you something quick. This comes with it, with your Tipx. So if your remote line regulator, I should say, doesn't look like the one in the picture, call Tipman. They'll send you this one, and it's just put it in. Anyhow, so first we want to take this plug out, and this is where your remote line will screw into once the marker is back together. So now we are going to, stupid me, I put all the parts on top of the friggin' kit, and I need something from the kit. So grab this. Alright, so the Tipx uses grease, not oil. I mean, in a bind, oil will work, but if you notice when you buy it, it comes with a little tube of grease, and clearly the bolt has grease on it. So first things first, you want to put this piece in, and it just slides into there. It only goes in one way. You can't, if you put it in the other way, it's very visibly wrong. So you put that in. This here is what releases the mag, engages the mag when you put it in the mag well. So this is the most commonly forgot piece. And of course I drop it. Sorry, it looks like a T. Dog hair all over it. Looks like a T. This is the most commonly forgot piece. That's if you put a mag in after you're done, and it doesn't engage, doesn't shoot. This is more than likely what you forgot. So this does go in multiple ways. I mean, you could put it in backwards. That's backwards. Upside down, I should say. This would be backwards, but I mean, you should realize that it goes in there. It looks proper this way. Next, we want to put the safety. For anybody that doesn't know this already, I'll mention that the red one goes top. Put that in that hole. I'm just going to clean something off of here that I saw. There we go. Alright, put that in there. Now, put this piece What you want to do with this is gently pull that out and give it a bit of grease. And very sparingly. It's literally just to keep the O-ring wet so it doesn't dry out and want to crack on you. You put that piece back inside. I lubed both sides, and it doesn't matter what way that goes in it. Each side's the same. Then we're going to take the trigger. So this piece of the trigger goes in the bottom hole. This piece of the trigger goes in that arm that we put in earlier. So get it in there. Once you got it in, you should be able to move it. Forgive me. Should be able to move it, and it will move the arm. Sorry, I had to get it off safety there. So it should move that arm. Alright, so this piece goes in the little lined part with the little button for the trigger, because that's what engages everything. This goes in the front here. That holds your little plug in. So then we got the piece we took the plug out of. Also has another little brass tube. Do the same thing with those O-rings. Like I said, just a little bit to keep them moist. We don't want them drying out. Ooh, that was a little more than I wanted. Alright. Just trying to get off the excess there. So you put that in the tube. You put this in there. Now, because it's new, I never fired it. I'm not even gonna get into cleaning or lubing this because it's already factory lubed, so I'm gonna leave it. But normally you would clean this off, clean that, put some more lube there, put this back together, clean that little disc too off. It'll eventually turn gray. Yeah, put that back on, clean this off, lube that. There's an O-ring right here. You want to keep that nice and moist. So now this is where putting the Tipx back together is a bit of a pain in the ass. Okay. So again, you'd want to, if you were doing maintenance, like cleaning your monthly, weekly, whatever you want to do, you'd wipe this off. Maybe give it a little bit of grease, but that goes on like that. So we can set this aside for a minute here, and we're gonna get into this other part, because that's where I'll put this in place of the original stock one. So we drop that in there. Now I wrapped it because, well, I'm not going to tell the reason why, to be honest. It's not political. But I wrapped this piece in my team's camouflage Cryptek. And that's that. Now, I wish I could have afforded at the time a first strike breech block, but I couldn't. So eventually I will take this piece out, swap it out with the breech block that allows first strike use. But I don't see me using first strikes till next season, so it's okay for the winter. Now this detent in the stock one only has one detent. In most of the first strike ones, it'll have two, one on each side. So, I mean, you know, on this one, the detent hole is there, so the detent goes there. So when you look in the bottom, what you want to make sure is that the detent follows the breech. Because if you put it in this way, you will literally shred it off and bye-bye D10. And I don't have a bunch of these, so I mean, you're going to want to put that in the right way. Now, so we know it'll go in this way. And there's a little slot for it. Just put it in the slot. Then when you put this back in, you just gotta there you go. Everything lines up nice. This O-ring is a complete pain in the ass, but it goes on the back of the breech block like so. Now, every time you pull your gun apart, that won't be there. It'll be wrapped around the spring on the bolt, and that's just the way it is. So you slide in everything, and you want to try your best simply for ease of everything. Sorry. This needs to pop out ever so slightly to get enough space to squeeze everything in. So, again, you want to hold down the breech block as tight as you can while you're doing all this, because it will explode now because it's under spring tension from the bolt. So what we're going to do is lightly pull this out and slide this gently into that hole, and there we go. Your Tipx is back together. Now, I thought this was on the other side of the room, the other piece of the show. Good thing it's not. So you can hold right here and hold the gun together while you slide everything back together. Once you hear that snap right there, you know you're good. Now, again, I just like to hold everything. You want to start with the middle one. Because once you put that in, you don't need to worry no more. So I'm going to put the rest of these in, and I'm only putting these in maybe hand tight, not too tight, just like it stops there, just a little more. I find things when you tighten them a little too much, they tend not to work so well. Go around and make sure everything's reasonably tight. And then we get our remote line adapter, and I'll go right into the hole. And if everything's installed properly, it should slide right in and start threading. You might need to find it a little bit, but there we go. I usually like to leave this hand tight. It won't leak because of the O-ring, but while you're on the field, if you have any problems and you need to take it apart, if you don't take this out before you start taking it apart, bad news bears when you try. So that's the rest is just putting this back all together. Again, Lapco. Gotta love Lapco. So, and as you can see, ambidextrous mag release, so flawless, to be honest. This is, I really dig this. Good job, Exalt. I will give this mag release a 10 out of 10. I'll let you know about this. I got it, let me just try to tighten this, because it seems like it's a little loose. And I don't like that. It is. Alright, so that's that. As you can see, I added a micro red dot. We got our remote line installed. Top rail, which is why I can have that micro red dot. The Exalt mag release. I'm going to just slide a Zeta mag into this. Ooh. So you can see how beautiful, simply beautiful. So that's that. After I tighten the rail here, everything seems to be nice. Again, Lapco 8-inch big shot. I shot first strikes with it. Works decent. I mean, I'll probably have a rifled barrel when I'm using first strikes in this, but for round ball, I did a noticeable improvement from stock. I'll be able to run my remote line, Zeta mag, obviously first strikes or a round ball, and the Exalt mag release. And this micro red dot worked well on my TCR. I just put it on here because, well, I like it. And that's that. Tipx Magfed Militia Edition.
Got into a paintball fight and shit got very real when your dad took one of the pills.